Now, it was once the star attraction of the games arcade, but the game of pinball has been dying off in the States for some years now. However, a hardcore of pinball fanatics are trying to change all that. The Free State Pinball Association has its own leagues. For the first time in 4 years, a national championship is to be held in Pittsburgh later this year. Bernie Kelm is the president of the Free State Pinball Association, and he joins me now. Bernie, how did you get interested in pinball?
I think I've been interested in pinball for quite a while, since before I was a teenager, and wasn't very good at the time. But as I played more and got better, found out it's not really a very random game. It's a game to do well, where you have to have very careful plans and really put together what you need to do versus what your skills allow you to do, and do the trade-off of the risk-reward. So found it to be a pretty interesting game.
Are you familiar with the famous Who rock opera, Tommy?
Very much so.
And I mean, from looking at Tommy's exploits, you really wouldn't think that it was an incredible game of skill.
I actually think it's very much a game of skill. A lot of people think that it's a random game or a game of chance, but
right.
It's only a game of chance once you miss.
Okay. So how did your association get started?
We got started. One of our members, Dave Stewart, helped start a pinball league in Pittsburgh. When he was transferred down into the Washington, D.C. area, he got a small group of us together. We were at a pizza shop that had 4 machines at the time. We just started bringing in new members. Once we had about a dozen members, we started keeping score and running seasons, having trophies. And from there, we grew pretty rapidly, bringing in at most 32 people playing at that first location, and then splitting off to 3 locations around the Washington, D.C. area.
But why do you think that the interest in the game basically kind of petered out over the years?
In my opinion, I think the decline of pinball was probably due to 2 things. It was with the video games uprising in, say, the 80s, pinball became a little bit of a second cousin, and still very popular, but not earning nearly as much as the video games, which earned their money in many cases maintenance-free,
right.
So no additional expense from the operators.
Right.
As the home entertainment systems really started to catch up and compete with the arcade business as a whole declined, and pinball somewhat went with it. And then with that, operators became less interested in maintenance, which then really hurt the appeal to players.
Right.
And with the amount of maintenance that pinball games do need maintenance, and so that made them
it's a labor
profitable.
Of love. Absolutely. Is it just men who play now, or do you see women getting interested in the sport as well?
We have both in our association. It's certainly majority men, but we have maybe 1 out of 5 or 2 out of 5 women at our various leagues. And so it's not a bad percentage.
Yeah, but it's fairly high. But again, I mean, I think that there is a prevailing image of pinball as something that either very young boys play or grown men with somewhat enhanced, if you like, middle parts as a result of quaffing the huge amounts of beer that go with the sport. So it does seem like a bit of a macho kind of pursuit, really, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think that's probably largely in part of where pinball machines have done good business.
Right.
They've tended to do good business in bars and in the arcades that were, I guess, more popular with children.
Yeah. Do you own any machines yourself?
Yeah, I own 4 myself.
Can you give us a sense of what they cost?
The cost, if you were to get one new in box that is never operated in an arcade,
right,
about $4,000.
That is a lot of money.
Or if you were to get one that was a bit older and used and probably in need of refurbishment,
right,
as cheap as about $400.
What could $4,000 buy you? Probably something like a motorbike or something like that?
$4,000, maybe that'd be a cheap motorcycle, certainly more than a pool table.
But it gives you certainly a sense of the kind of investment you need to make to pursue your love and sport.
Yeah, most people that we have in our league that are collectors tend not to buy them new unless it's a truly special occasion.
Sure.
And
so at any rate, you must be absolutely thrilled about the first national championships in 4 years.
Yeah, we're really looking forward to that. That it had been held in New York City,
Right.
And with the decline of pinball over the past, say, 7 years or so, that was suspended. And the Pittsburgh group that I had mentioned earlier, they started running a tournament, and it grew over the past few years. And on its next occasion, it's going to reincarnate the Big Pinball Nationals.
Finally, Bernie, how do you rate your personal skills? Are you anywhere near the championship status?
Not quite near the championship status. I can do pretty well in our league, and our league is pretty competitive. We have a lot of good players, and I can stand with them. Certainly not world champion caliber.
But you're up there with them.
Yeah, I think I could.
Perhaps it's a taking part that counts more than the actual result.
Yeah, it's a long way to go for me to get to be the best in the world. It's just like any other sport. You have some people that are truly elite.
Superb. Okay, well, thank you very much, Bernie, for joining us, and we wish you all the very best with your the Free State Pinball Association.
Great, thank you very much.
All the best.
Okay, bye-bye.